We work with majority of students who've had trouble in regular high schools. We do have some students who self-select to come to our school because we have a small school setting. But the majority of students have had some type of problem, truancy, some type of behavioral issue, or some academic deficiencies where they were struggling in a regular high school setting.
Innovations was created to provide a responsive environment for students who were alienated by their experience in other high schools. So they wanted to develop an approach that was challenging and inviting and would push young people to reconnect to their own capacity for learning.
We chose to be an arts integrated school because we wanted to teach students in a way that they'd never been taught before, and we knew that the traditional methods of teaching didn't really necessarily work out for them, and we wanted to make sure that the second chance was successful for them.
We're really an arts integration school because I think it matches with our population.
Many of our students are more active in a kinetic way.
They have a hard time with their emotions. They don't know how to use them, and they're not always in environments that are teaching them how to work with their emotions and self-express in a way that's positive.
We often have a lot of really talented kids here.
I think that this is one of the most creative groups I've ever worked with.
Very often for kids who are disenfranchised, there's a back to basics, increasing rigidity response. And this school took the brave move of trying to introduce a school-wide methodology of arts integration.
Arts integration is simply just integrating visual arts with normal subjects.
A way to express your feelings.
Trying to apply standards-based curriculum to a creative medium of some sort.
Whether it's be using the visual arts, literary arts, or performing arts.
Bringing in outside expert artists.
It incorporates another resource for better learning.
Involving a lot more activity in terms of movement, different multiple intelligences, creating some form of sharing of the lessons that they've learned in a concrete fashion.
Arts learning and other academic content are connected to give students more responsibility and leadership for their own learning. I think that through the arts, these students, they rediscover their own capacity and intelligence. And they also have fun.
In a normal class, it's usually quiet or everybody's just working. But when it involves art, everybody is up, moving around, helping each other out.
It's students interacting with other students.
I see students who are alive as opposed to being kind of robotic.
The space use changes.
A lot of times we utilize space outside the classroom, so within the school or even outside the school itself.
You can't find the teacher right away because the students are running with the ball. For many of the students here, school was perceived as a place that was just unpleasant.
I wasn't hardly going to my old school and like giving up on a lot of classes. And then I came here and it's an arts integration school and we always doing projects and working on art and stuff, and that's something I'm interested in. So I started coming to school more. I got good grades and it helped me a lot.
They're inspired to come here and do their projects, you know. Attendance shot up.
There's definitely been days where I didn't want to come, but knowing that I had to get the projects helped me get to school.
They engage more when they can actually touch things and get involved instead of just sitting back and listening to a lecture and taking notes.
I know that myself, I wasn't somebody who could just sit down and look at a book and read it. I needed to act it out. I needed to see a movie. I needed to do all of these different things to bring it to life. And that's what they need. They need life.
I just like being involved, doing something physical.
I think because some people have so much to say or so much feelings that they rather use their hands to describe how they feel.
It seek in more because you get excited about it and you want to learn more about them.
It breaks down the subject in the class, and it helped me think outside the box.
Art draws more attention than just putting a book in front of somebody and telling them to do an assignment. Even though those things are good too, adding the art to it make people more want to focus on what they really need to do.
It's easy for students to trail off into the creative aspect, and so you have to always keep bringing them back to, so how does this apply to the lesson? So you act as a bridge between the activity and the content.
What they probably lacked some of in their other school is a creative outlet. And so having an arts integration program here, it's inspiring to them. And it's things that they actually know. They know how to draw, they know how to write, they know how to rap or make poetry, they know how to dance, but they don't have a way that integrates that into their academics.
We can use arts integration to teach the same concepts in a completely new and different way. And requires students to look at the bigger picture, so it helps them organize their learning around more important, more meaningful themes.
They're able to connect their life experiences with their academic experiences.
You really see students' personalities come out.
More confidence, like, dang, I didn't know I can do this. Let me try it again.
You saw students that like to sing, sang in their advertisement, and students that really like to act, really ham it up in the project. They definitely get to sort of have that freedom and that creativity.
They need that motivational factor to get them more excited about school and about their future.
What the arts do is not just train people how to produce art, but they train people how to imagine alternate solutions to a problem, to encounter obstacles and frustrations and find ways of working around them, to communicate your thinking in many different ways, to be open to other people's opinions. The arts are not just about developing art skills, they're developing 21st century capacities.
It calls for partner work, small group work, or even, being a part of an audience and taking turns.
Some people out and other groups didn't understand what was going on, so we went to help them.
It helped us with far as fright, like being nervous, and it's not because like for our portfolios, we gotta present in front of everybody. This helping us get ready for the future.
Certain projects we have to work on, you have to show patience and you have to work slowly so that you wouldn't mess up.
You can't be scared, and if you're gonna do something, like you have to go all the way, and you gotta be real, you gotta loosen up when you're on stage.
In terms of creativity and being innovative, that's going to help them in the workforce, in college.
The skills that you need to survive in an information economy where you're not going to have one career, you're going to have 7 careers, are different than what schools were preparing students for.
CAPE is an organization that pairs artists with teachers and provides professional development and arts integration.
We've had great success with bringing in a wide range of artists. We've tried to bring in our most skilled and experienced artists.
Ask yourself the questions: what's in the foreground? What's in the background? What colors are here? What's happening? Where did the story begin? Where might it possibly end?
Since that's like his profession, he really can tell us like what to do and stuff like that. He's like more knowledgeable about it than just a regular teacher who's that's not really their focus.
The teacher and the artist comes up with kind of a big idea theme or maybe an end product. There's a pre-assessment just to get an idea of what the students know ahead of time. The artist then kind of jumps in and introduces a project. It could be 5 sessions, it could be 10 sessions. The teacher and the artist are in correspondence as to what's working, what's not working. And then by the end, there's usually an end product. The students are responsible for presenting and making the connection between the core subject area and then the fine arts area.
We like CAPE because they help us document our arts integration. The CAPE documentation process really teaches the teacher to be a researcher in their own classroom. It requires them to do a lot of pre-planning with the artist and thinking about not only what the big ideas are, but what the student needs are, along with the strengths of the artist and the teachers. We also do what's called the tuning protocol, where we get all of our teachers together and a teacher presents the work that has been done in a classroom, and the rest of the faculty are able to comment on it, and it requires the teacher to reflect on their own work in a really meaningful way.
They were terrified at first.
I had a little butterflies.
When we started introducing the visual arts, it got them interested in it, but they questioned it because they didn't see how the two fit. They were really enthusiastic about taking that challenge, and they did successfully.
By the end of the class, they were excited, they were involved, they were working really hard.
I often get 100% engagement while we're working on those projects.
I'm constantly getting feedback from the students in the hallways talking about the projects. They're really proud of their work. They want, always stopping me, look what I did when it's on the walls, or come to my class and check this out.
I think it's fun.
That's fine.
It's exciting. It's interesting.
A lot of the staff were kind of skeptical at first. It took a lot of training and development for teachers to become proficient in it. I think we're at a point now where teachers are really responding to it.
I've learned a lot about myself as a teacher through teaching arts integration.
I'm almost a different person when I'm teaching an arts-based class. I've learned that I need to be flexible. I need to be able to release some of the control and understand that chaos can be good because there's some magic in that process, and to trust the students and trust the process. Typically the outcomes are still there and usually greater than I'd expected.
One of the things that makes arts integration different for me as an English teacher is that I can see their engagement.
It's a different type of assessment. It's not just about the mechanics of writing an essay or whether they understood the main idea or the main point. You're also assessing, is this person using eye contact? Are they projecting? Are they enunciating? Were they able to memorize a piece of their script? They use body movements, at least 3 body movements throughout the performance.
To assess students' both participation and effort, how close they're following the guidelines.
Based on the quality of the artwork, which we had instructed them on, and also their explanation of it.
So you use a rubric and students know what that rubric is in the beginning.
But I also do oral, verbal assessments, where in the midst of doing the actual project, I make sure I go by, not quiz them, but say, so, this relates to what? Didn't we do something like this, or didn't we deal with this subject? Why do you think you're doing what you're doing now?
In the end as well, I have students usually grade each other.
The students are challenged more because they have to do the regular assessments in addition to the more arts-based.
In a multimedia world like we live in, that's what schools need to be. They need to be places where students get to represent their thinking in many different modes.
Since it was art integration, I felt like it was mine, and I got to create something that show how I feel and got to express myself.
I really think it's one of the best ways to really reach kids, get them really interested in the learning, in the content, and I think we can say it's been really effective.
The students are investing in the arts, producing good work, having fun, are thinking.
There's a lot more going into the art than just cutting and pasting. When we do the projects, the teachers sometimes seem more into the projects than we do.
It's a great break in the curriculum. Students have more energy, you have more energy.
It really forces different parts of my brain to light up.
I'm an artist at heart.
This really opened my mind up doing it, because I didn't know I can act that good.
Each year, the students are more confident in their abilities in all the fine arts.
Just getting to show people what I've done, show my mother, show like different faculty members getting their expressions and just showing them what I created and they looks on their faces and stuff. That was the most enjoyable part.